Hello everybody, hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor here. We are back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Ao Tanaka. We're going to be talking about his hopeful tenacity in that midfield. We're going to be speaking about the profile, where he'll fit into this Leeds side. Will he be starting? Will he be sort of rotation? Let's get into that, of course. But we're going to be speaking about Kamara. We're going to be speaking about Jorginho Rutter as well. So I'll tell you what, we'll start on Jorginho Rutter. According to several French outlets last night, Lyon are going to be making a bid for Jorginho Rutter. Now, isn't it interesting with the profiles that we've got at this moment in time in terms of Sinisterra, Nonto, Rutter, Pirot, that front four's Premier League. Now, the likelihood is towards the back end of the window, you're going to get teams testing that, because I genuinely look at that Premier League and think a lot of bottom half sides would die for our front four. I really do believe that. So, especially the European teams, you're going to be expecting them to put a little bit of a challenge to Leeds United in terms of personnel and keeping hold of those bodies, really. So, Sinisterra is one that I'm looking at. I'm praying that we can keep hold of him, because I think he's the difference maker in this division. I think it's so obvious that he's a player that if you can keep hold of him, he's going to be the best player in the league and arguably the best player the Championship's ever seen. And, you know, I'm including Adel Tarapt in that as well. So, yeah, he'd be a magnificent keep hold, if you will, and I think that'll be as good as a new signing. I think maybe that synergy between him, Rutter and Nonto would aid Rutter as well, but the big news is obviously Telefoot are reporting that obviously with PSG's acquisition of Lyon striker, that they're going to be going in for him. Now, the cards are in Leeds' hands, really, for this one. It's when we paid 35 million for the kid, I don't think Leeds are going to be stupid enough to get rid of him for anything less than sort of 30 million, 25 million. And I think that's the bargaining tool they're gonna strike, really, when it comes to him. But I also, after the weekend, I think Rutter would be mad to leave as well. I know it's Lyon, they're in the top division, they're a French giant, but we are an English giant, and you've just made your move as well. In the Championship, you scored an excellent first goal, and surely this is where you think to yourself, I'm going to be making a move now. This is where I'm going to be really stepping up, and that's going to be the start of it for me. You know, you're surrounded by top quality forwards as well, so that's going to aid your development. So, yeah, I don't think Rutter will go, and I think the good thing is now Leeds have got all four, really, of the front four teams going to have to pay big money for. So, yeah, good to see there. So, Ao Tanaka, apparently, according to Bild, Leeds United are putting a £2.7 million bid for the Fortuna Dusseldorf midfielder. Now, what do we know about this guy? Do we think he's going to be a part of a double pivot? Do we think he's going to be a cam? Well, he's a bit of a weird player because he sort of does everything. Drops deep, interrupts play, 9 tackles per game in the Bundesliga last season, a mass blocker, a mass interrupter of play as well, and on top of that, he gets forward. He's box to box. You know, if you're comparing him to a profile, it'd probably be someone like Jude Bellingham. That's profile, everybody, not player, but a similar profile to Jude Bellingham. He'd probably incorporate everything that Ampadu does and Archie Gray does as well. So it's a bit of a mix of them both in terms of Ampadu's the one dropping deep, trying to conduct play from that deep line, whereas Archie Gray's probably got a little bit more license to go forward. He arrives late into the box, does Tanaka, and he's a bit of a goal threat. You know, he's famous for the goal that he scored against against Spain, for Japan, I should say, obviously in the World Cup where they shocked the world. And it's great to see Leeds dipping into that Japanese market, because there's so much talent there that the German league has exploited. Celtic have obviously exploited as well. He's best mates with Matoma. He came up through, primary, elementary school, middle school, and plays for the national team with him as well. So hopefully Matoma can put in a good word for what he's seen at Ellen Road. But yeah, I think overall it'd be an interesting signing. It's going to be depth. It's going to be depth alongside someone like Glenn Kamara. And it's going to make me sort of question whether or not Leeds are going to go for that guile, that innovative, that creative central attacking midfielder, because I don't think they would if they're getting 2 midfielders in who they're just bringing 2 midfielders in. You look at the depth last season, take Ampadu out, you had Rocker, McKennie, Adams, you had more depth even last season in that central attack, in that central midfield role. So Leeds have now got the likes of JB, they've got the likes of obviously Archie Gray who's in there, Greenwood, Lewis Bate is still there. So the depth isn't mad and it's not great in terms of quality. So you're hoping that Leeds are looking at it and thinking, we do have to contextualise this. We have dropped down a division, so the quality's not it's not needed to be that high. It's not needed to be the heights of the Premier League. But you do need quality with the quality in abundance and depth with the amount of games that you do play in the Championship, as we all know. So Kamara, I'd be really happy with. I think that'd be a good addition. Obviously, he wouldn't be your number one, in my opinion, but he might be other people's number one. But I think you could get a better midfielder in there. But you've also got to contextualise, once again, the fact that we're in the Championship and he's dropping down from the SPL. He plays regular international football. He's played Champions League or Europa League, I believe it is, obviously. He will have played Champions League with Rangers, obviously. Yeah, so European football on a much more grand scale than a lot of these Leeds United players. So yeah, that's going to be decent experience. That's going to be a decent individual to add, and maybe Tanaka is going to be almost that box-to-box midfielder who drops deep, likes to get the ball, but also is going to be involved in every capacity in the midfield, which is going to be good for Leeds, because I think we need a body like that. But yeah, I think it's all positive, guys. I think it's all positive, and Tanaka, it's going to be interesting to see how that one develops. And two midfielders in, they are going for some fullbacks, I know that. So it's going to be fascinating to see what develops on the Leeds United side. Guys, as soon as we hear anything on Tanaka, Kamara, we'll be here updating you. Really appreciate your support. Heading over to the Patreon for some bonus content. It's been an absolute pleasure, everyone. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.